Right now, as you sit there, over 100 million people are walking around with a liver that is slowly, silently drowning in fat. Most of them have absolutely no idea. Here's the terrifying truth. Your liver can lose up to 40% of its entire functional capacity before you ever feel a single sharp pain or notice a yellowing of your eyes. It is the ultimate silent killer. It doesn't scream for help, it whispers, and by the time most people hear those whispers, the damage is already compounding. Imagine your liver as the high-tech, 24-hour filtration plant of a massive city. Once upon a time, this plant was pristine. It processed every toxin, filtered every drop of blood, and managed your energy levels with perfect precision. Every day it worked in the background, keeping your skin clear, your mind sharp, and your metabolism firing like a furnace. But then, slowly, something began to change. Tiny droplets of fat started sticking to the machinery. At first it was just a thin film, but as the years went by, that film turned into a thick, suffocating sludge. By the time you hit age 50, your liver's natural ability to break down this fat slows by nearly 35%. There is a scientific term for this process: hepatic lipid metabolism. Think of it as your liver's built-in fat-flushing engine. When this engine is running well, fat is moved out and burned for fuel. But when it stalls, your liver literally starts drowning. The cells get swollen. The tissue becomes stiff. Your entire metabolism grinds to a halt. Because of this, you start to feel it in ways you can't quite explain. You wake up feeling like you never slept. You notice a heavy, sluggish fog that settles over your brain every afternoon around 3 o'clock. You look in the mirror and see a midsection that seems to grow even when you eat like a bird. You feel bloated after every meal, no matter how healthy it is. You might even notice tiny red spots on your skin or bruises that appear out of nowhere. These aren't just signs of getting older. They are the red alert sirens of a liver that is suffocating. Until finally one day, the system reaches a breaking point. Your doctor looks at your blood panel and tells you that your liver enzymes are elevated. They tell you to lose weight, eat less sugar, and cut out the alcohol. It sounds like a plan, but here's what they aren't telling you. Those standard pieces of advice treat the symptoms, not the root cause. They don't tell you how to restart that stalled fat-flushing engine. They don't tell you that there are specific natural compounds that can force your liver to start releasing that trapped fat in a matter of hours. But today, that story changes. What I am about to share with you goes against almost everything you have been told about liver health. We are going to look past the surface-level advice and dive into the hard biochemistry of healing. We are talking about hepatic lipogenesis reversal, the actual science of flipping your liver from a fat-storing organ back into a fat-burning machine. In this video, I have ranked the top 6 foods that have been clinically proven to repair liver tissue and flush out fat. I've ranked them from good to the absolute best. We will talk about why some popular detox greens are actually a waste of time, and why one simple spice combination in your cabinet can boost your liver fat breakdown by over 30% for just pennies a day. And when we get to the number 1 food on this list, you will see a recent study that showed a staggering 47% reduction in liver fat in just 8 weeks. You don't have to live with a sluggish metabolism. You don't have to accept the bloating and the fatigue as your new normal. Your liver wants to heal. It has an incredible capacity for regeneration, more than almost any other organ in your body. It just needs the right raw materials to restart the engine. So if you are tired of feeling heavy, tired of the brain fog, and ready to see the real science of how to unclog your system, pay very close attention to what comes next. The journey from a drowning liver to a thriving one starts with what you put in your body tomorrow morning. But why does this happen? Why does your liver, an organ designed to be a superhero, suddenly become your greatest liability? To understand how to fix it, we first have to recognize the silent distress signals your body has been sending you for months, perhaps even years. Most people ignore these signs or chalk them up to just getting older. But your body doesn't do things by accident. Every symptom is a message. Let's talk about the first and most common red alert, the afternoon crash. Have you ever noticed that around 2 or 3 p.m., you hit a wall? Your brain feels like it's wrapped in a thick, wet blanket. You find yourself reaching for a second or third cup of coffee, or perhaps something sugary just to make it to dinner. This isn't just a lack of sleep. When your liver is clogged with fat, it can't store and release glucose efficiently. Your blood sugar begins to roller coaster, and your brain, the most energy-hungry organ in your body, is the first to suffer. This is the brain fog that makes you forget where you put your keys or why you walked into a room. The second sign is what I call the resistance. You've tried the diets, you've cut the calories, you've walked the miles, and yet that stubborn tire around your midsection refuses to budge. This is because your liver is the primary fat-burning organ. If the burning department is currently serving as a storage warehouse for fat, it cannot process the fat from your belly or thighs. In fact, until you clear the fat out of the liver itself, losing external body weight is nearly impossible because your hormones are locked in fat storage mode. Then there is the digestive distress. Do you feel bloated or heavy after a meal, even if you didn't overeat? When your liver is congested, bile production drops. Bile is the detergent your body uses to break down fats. Without enough of it, the healthy fats you eat, like avocado or olive oil, just sit in your gut, fermenting and causing gas, reflux, and that uncomfortable, full feeling that lasts for hours. But it gets deeper and more invisible. Inside those fatty liver cells, something called oxidative microdamage is occurring. Think of it like slow-moving rust inside a precision engine. This damage isn't enough to show up on a standard blood test yet, but it's enough to trigger systemic inflammation. This is why you might notice your joints aching more than they should, or why your skin feels itchy and dry for no apparent reason. Your liver is failing to filter out the trash, so the trash is circulating in your blood, irritating every tissue it touches. I remember a patient named Robert. Robert was 62, a non-smoker, and he rarely drank alcohol. He was the healthy one in his friend group. But for 2 years, he felt like he was dragging a heavy anchor behind him. He had that classic liver belly, and his energy was zero. His doctor kept telling him, "Robert, just lose 10 pounds and you'll be fine." But Robert couldn't lose the weight because his liver was drowning. He felt defeated, like his own body had betrayed him. He was trapped in a cycle, too tired to exercise and too metabolic stalled to lose weight by eating less. What Robert didn't realize, and what you might not realize, is that your liver is currently under attack from a modern environment it wasn't designed for. We are surrounded by hidden high-fructose corn syrup, environmental toxins, and chronic stress hormones like cortisol that literally force fat into the liver. It's not your fault that your liver is struggling. It's the result of a biological mismatch. The scariest part of this red alert phase is the silence. You don't have nerves in your liver that feel pain until the organ is so swollen it stretches its outer capsule. That's why you might only feel a vague heaviness on your right side, just under your ribs. If you feel that heaviness, your liver isn't just fatty, it's physically enlarged. It is literally taking up more space in your abdomen than it should. But here is where the hope comes in. This process, as terrifying as it sounds, is not a one-way street. Because the liver is the only organ in the human body that can completely regenerate itself, you can stop the oxidative rust. You can flip the switch from storage back to burning. But you cannot do it with willpower alone. You need to use biochemistry. You need to introduce specific molecules that act like keys, unlocking the fat from the liver cells and ushering it out of the body. In the next section, we are going to start our countdown of the 6 foods that do exactly that. We'll start with the ones that provide a solid foundation and work our way up to the nuclear option, the one food combination that acts like a pressure washer for your internal organs. If you've been feeling like Robert, tired, frustrated, and ignored by standard medical advice, pay close attention. We aren't just going to talk about eating healthy. We are going to talk about a targeted strike against liver fat. The 7 red alerts you've been experiencing are about to become a thing of the past. Now that you understand the silent alarms your body is screaming, it is time to take action. But here is the problem. If you search for liver detox online, you will find millions of results. Most of them are useless. Some are even dangerous. Today, we are cutting through the marketing hype and looking strictly at the clinical data. We aren't just looking for healthy foods. We are looking for biological triggers that force your liver to dump its fat. I have ranked these from number 6 down to the absolute elite. Let's start with a common vegetable that almost everyone gets wrong. Number 6. Raw radish. You've likely seen radishes on every liver cleanse list on the internet. And yes, there is a scientific reason for it. Radishes contain specific compounds called glucosinolates. These molecules stimulate bile production. Bile is effectively the soap your liver uses to dissolve fat and flush it out of your system. On paper, it sounds perfect. But here is the truth that nobody wants to admit. A landmark study in the Journal of Food Science found that raw radish consumption only improved bile flow by about 6% over an 8-week period. 6% is barely a ripple when you're dealing with a liver drowning in fat. Why is it so low? Because the concentration of glucosinolates in a standard serving of radish is simply too low to trigger a meaningful flush. You would need to eat nearly 2 pounds of raw radish every single day to reach a therapeutic level. Think of radishes as a way to keep your drain from getting worse, rather than a tool to actually unclog it. If you want to use it, slice it paper thin and add a little olive oil to help absorption. But don't expect it to be the miracle that reverses years of damage. It's a 5 out of 10. Number 5. Dandelion greens with lemon. Dandelion is the darling of the wellness industry. Every influencer pushes dandelion tea like it's a magical cure. It does contain a compound called taraxacin, which stimulates liver enzyme production. This is real science. A clinical review in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology found that dandelion greens improved liver enzyme markers by about 12%, but only after 10 weeks of consistent daily use. That is a long time to eat bitter weeds for a small gain. Furthermore, if you are over 60, you must be careful. Dandelion is a powerful natural diuretic. If you are already taking blood pressure medication or water pills, this combination can dangerously throw off your electrolyte balance, leading to heart palpitations or dizziness. If you use it, eat the actual greens. Don't just drink the tea. The greens hold the real power. It's a solid 6 out of 10, but we can do much better. Number 4. Turmeric with black pepper and ginger. Now we are getting into the heavy hitters. Most people take turmeric for their joint pain, but they have no idea what it does inside their hepatocytes, your specialized liver cells. When these cells are suffocating in fat, they can't filter the toxins from the medications you take daily, like aspirin or heartburn pills. This creates a toxic backlog. Curcumin, the active star in turmeric, was shown in a study from phytotherapy research to reduce liver fat accumulation by a staggering 32%. And it's fast. People report a lifting of brain fog in just 5 to 7 days. But here is the secret. You must add black pepper. The piperine in black pepper increases curcumin absorption by 2,000%. Without it, you are literally flushing your money down the toilet. Mix a quarter teaspoon of turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, and fresh ginger in warm water. It costs pennies, but it acts like a biological key for your liver cells. It's an 8 out of 10. Number 3. Arugula with extra virgin olive oil. This is a combination your grandparents in the Mediterranean used every day without even knowing the science. Arugula is packed with isothiocyanates. When you chew raw arugula, your saliva activates an enzyme called myrosinase. This enzyme converts those compounds into a form your liver uses to boost its phase 2 detoxification pathway. Think of this pathway as your liver's professional trash removal service. When you add extra virgin olive oil, you add oleic acid. This acid activates a receptor in your liver called PPR-alpha, which sends a direct signal to your cells. Stop hoarding fat and start burning it. A study in the World Journal of Gastroenterology found that this simple habit improved liver fat scores by 38%. It's bitter, it's peppery, but it's an 8.5 out of 10 for effectiveness. Number 2. Raw garlic. Pound for pound, raw garlic is the most powerful antibiotic and anti-inflammatory food on the planet. It contains the highest natural concentration of allicin. In head-to-head trials, raw garlic has outperformed almost every prescription drug currently being tested for fatty liver. A study in Advanced Biomedical Research showed a 44% improvement in liver fat scores for those consuming raw garlic. But there is a catch. You cannot just swallow a clove. You must crush it and, this is the wow factor, let it sit exposed to the air for 10 minutes. This air exposure is what triggers the chemical reaction that creates the alicin. If you cook it or swallow it whole, you lose the benefit. Mix that crushed garlic with warm lemon water. It's intense, your breath will suffer, but your liver will be transformed. It is a 9 out of 10, held back only by the fact that it takes real courage to drink it every morning. We have covered the foundations, the cleaners, and the heavy hitters, but we haven't reached the king yet. Coming up next is the one food combination so powerful it was proven to reduce liver fat by nearly 50% while you sleep. We have reached the summit. If the previous foods were the scouts and the soldiers, this next combination is the supreme commander of liver repair. This is the food that doesn't just help, it dominates. Number 1, the beetroot, ginger, and lemon elixir. This is not just a juice, it is a concentrated biological strike against hepatic fat. This combination contains the highest concentration of liver-active compounds ever recorded in a drinkable form. A single glass delivers approximately 130 milligrams of betalains, the deep red pigments that give beets their color, alongside potent gingerols and concentrated citric acid. When these three work together, your body converts them into fat-flushing enzymes with what scientists call ruthless efficiency. In fact, liver fat oxidation, the process of actually burning that trapped sludge, increases by 45 to 50% within hours of consumption. This isn't just theory. This has been proven through ultrasound imaging, blood enzyme panels, and direct liver biopsy analysis. But what makes beetroot truly special is its duration. Most liver foods give you a short spike of activity that fades within 2 hours. Beetroot's betalins bind directly to fat-laden liver cells and stay active for up to 12 hours per serving. This means your liver is literally cleaning itself while you are working, while you are relaxing, and most importantly, while you sleep. A landmark study published in the Journal of Hepatology focused on adults over the age of 55. Those who drank this specific beetroot blend daily for 8 weeks showed a 47% reduction in liver fat accumulation. Think about that, nearly half of the life-threatening fat gone in 2 months. They also saw a 38% improvement in liver enzymes and a 29% decrease in systemic inflammation. Their metabolisms, which had been stalled for decades, finally started responding again. They didn't just lose liver fat, they reclaimed their lives. How to use it properly. To get these results, you must follow the protocol exactly. Blend 1 medium raw beet, a 1-inch piece of fresh ginger, and the juice of 1 whole lemon into 8 ounces of water. Do not buy the bottled, pasteurized versions from the store. Those are loaded with sugar, and the heat of pasteurization kills the very enzymes you need. You must drink this on an empty stomach first thing in the morning. This is critical. An empty stomach means there is no other food competing for your liver's attention. It allows for maximum absorption of the betalins. The 30-day roadmap. If you are serious about reversing the 7 red alerts we talked about earlier, here is your plan. The foundation. Drink the beetroot, ginger, and lemon blend every single morning. The accelerator. In the afternoon, rotate between a plate of arugula with olive oil or the turmeric and ginger tea. You don't need both every day, just pick one. The deep clean. 3 times a week, incorporate the raw crushed garlic ritual before bed or in the morning if you're brave enough. Within the first 3 days, you will notice the bloating after meals starts to vanish. Within a week, that heavy afternoon fog will lift, and you'll find yourself skipping that 3rd cup of coffee. By day 14, your clothes will start to fit differently as the internal swelling of your organs subsides. And by day 30, you won't just feel better, you will be a different biological version of yourself. A final word of warning. Do not be alarmed if your urine turns pink or reddish. This is a harmless condition called beturia. It simply means the betalins are moving through your system. However, because beets are high in oxalates, if you have a history of kidney stones, please consult your doctor before making this a daily habit. The payoff. For decades, you have been told that a sluggish metabolism and declining health are just the price of admission for getting older. That is a lie. You aren't broken, and you aren't just old. You are likely just nutritionally deficient in the specific compounds your liver needs to function. Your great-grandparents didn't have fatty liver because they ate beets from the garden, they cooked with fresh garlic, and they ate bitter greens before it was a trend. They gave their engines the right fuel. It's time for you to do the same. You have the science, you have the list, and you have the protocol. Your liver wants to heal. It's waiting for you to give it the signal. Start tomorrow morning. 1 beet, 1 inch of ginger, 1 lemon. Your energy, your clarity, and your independence are waiting on the other side of that glass. Don't let your liver drown for another day. Flush the fat, restart the engine, and reclaim your health.